Is it time to create something different with your life and your body? Right Body for You will inspire you and invite you to a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Ready? Let's go. Here's your host, Donnielle.
And welcome everybody to Right Body for You. I am Donnielle. I am your host for the day, for the hour, for sometimes also the voice in your head. Thank you so much for joining me today, in the past, or in the future. I know how you all magical creatures are out there. You're like, I've already listened to this, and you're just now getting to recording it. I get it, done it myself. So I am so grateful, though, that you're choosing to listen to this at any time you do. You know, I love doing the radio show. I love playing with you guys. I love facilitating classes. I love working with people, helping them to see different possibilities in their life and, you know, move away from places that they thought they were stuck, that they didn't think there was any choice or that anything could ever be different, and to a place of where they're creating the life and the body they desire, to where they're happy. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? Happy, and just generating. And it's a lot of fun. And, you know, and it's been an interesting journey for me as well. You know, I worked with my mom, who was a nutritionist and a health talk radio show hostess herself for, you know, she did a health talk radio show for 27 years. And so I got to play with her a lot on that. And I was always behind the scenes, hiding, thinking I didn't have anything to say or add, or pretending to be shy, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And so it's been such a 180 reverse for me to actually be the voice in your head, as I like to say, and just really standing up in front of crowds and being with people, looking at their universes, exploring with them different topics, different possibilities, and then watching them change and seeing the magic that gets created from them by that, right? And, you know, and my journey started with my body. Because even though my mom was a nutritionist and she did all these health talk radio shows, I was like, ooh, poo, poo, body, poo, bodies. I don't want to talk about bodies. What do you mean I have a body? I don't have a body. I just have something. I put some stupid clothes on, put my hair in a ponytail and go on from there. Please, I don't, blah, blah. And so then I took my first Access Consciousness class, and I was like, whoa. Empowering me to know that I know. You know, because that's the slogan of Access Consciousness, empowering you to know that you know. And I'm like, do I know something? And shockingly, the thing came back, it was, yeah, actually I did. But here's the thing, so do all of you. And, you know, part of what, for me, my exploration of this journey, part of this was actually this whole, the topic of today's show, I'm energy's bitch. You? Which is going to be really interesting, not trying to say the B word too often in this show, so bear with me. I've not always been a big swearer in my life, and the more I get out there, the more it comes out every once in a while, which is interesting. But this is one of those places, because, you know, this topic is very interesting. It came about as a joke. You know, if you've listened to any of my shows, or if we've done a private session, or if you've been to any of my workshops, or done some of the telecalls, you figure out pretty damn quickly that I'm sarcastic, that I use laughter a lot to change things, and jokes, and I help move energy that way. And yes, tears have a place, and tears do show up, and also laughter shows up a lot. You know, what if you didn't have to take your life and your body so seriously? What could you actually create? You know, we think we have to be serious. Serious. Life is serious, because, you know, what happens if you're not serious about life? Death. Well, that's a whole other topic. Sorry. Didn't mean to go there. But, yeah, so I usually tend to go with a joke or laughter or something like that. So this me being energy's bitch kind of started off as a joke. We were in classes and doing whatever, and I would have things planned. I would walk in because I do these 2.5-day Right Body For You workshops all over the year, right? All over the world. Well, and the year, but all over the world. And in the intro, because it's 2.5 days, so the half day is kind of like an intro / beginning of class / whatever it's going to be. And so during this half day, this beginning of this workshop, I have a couple of tools I plan on sharing with you. It's like, okay, I'll talk about this, then I'll go to this, then I'll go to this. I have this 3 boom, boom, boom that I attempt to do in intros. And I say attempt to do because where I started becoming really embraced in I Am Energy's Bitch is these intros, these kind of classes. Because what would occur? So I would go into a class, an intro, and I'd be like, boom, boom, boom. This is my 3-tier plan. And, 4-tier. Because at first I would come in and go, hi, my name is Donnielle. Why am I standing before you talking about bodies? Blah, 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 blah. This is a little bit about my story, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, the tools, da-da-da. So the more I started not following a script, and the more I just started following the energy, the more potent my classes became. To the point where sometimes I would be at the end of the intro and go, oh, crap, did I even introduce myself? Oh, yeah, by the way, my name's Donnielle. If you haven't figured that one out. Just have some random person come up and stand in front and talk to you for a couple hours. But it was really interesting following the energy, okay? And this is where this I'm Energy's Bitch really, truly comes from, because the joke would come out when the intro was supposed to be on bodies, and then we spent, my last intro in London, it was supposed to be at bodies, and we ended up taking the whole 2 hours on families, because that's what was up in people's universe, including their bodies. Don't get me wrong, everything includes the bodies as well. But that's what was up in their universes. And so that is where it required to go. That's where it required to go to create some clarity, some freedom, some choice, some possibilities for those who had chosen to come to class. Okay? And so that's why I'd be like, I had this plan, but hey, being energy's bitch, this is where we're going over here. And so, in pop culture, in urban slang, or whatever you want to call it, when you say something like, oh, I'm so-and-so's bitch, it's like it's a joke of like, I'm owned by them, right? That's where it comes in. I'm owned by them. I do what they say. I go where they go. I follow them. They're in charge of my life or whatever it is. And so, and so I've had some people ask me to explain this because they're like, are you saying you have no choice? Because I thought the whole thing about access was choice. And if you're saying your energy's bitch, does that mean that you have no choice? No. It actually means I have infinite choice. So this is kind of where we're exploring this today. What does it mean to be energy's bitch? Does it mean I have no choice? It doesn't mean I have, what does it look like? How can we use it? And where does it go? If energy is going one way, where does it go? What is that actually all about? So, let me give you a few stories about what we're talking about, how this is being energy's bitch, okay? Your original language is energy, plain and simple. I have a book coming out soon, and it's called Your Body's Talking, Are You Listening? And it's all about acknowledging that communication with your body and building on it. And that communication starts with admitting and acknowledging that you read, perceive energy. Okay, this energy is all around us. Have you ever walked into a room and known somebody's mad without talking to them? Yes. They don't even have to be giving you that ice cold stare of like, I'm going to kill you if you talk to me. No, they could be turned around, but you walk in and you're like, uh-oh, danger, danger. I better be careful what I say here, because that's that energy all around us, okay? And so, or, if somebody's happy, you start to know this. And with Access Consciousness and Right Body for You, the tools are about acknowledging that you know this, okay? And so with this follow the energy kind of thing, first of it is really just acknowledging that you do know. You do know the energy. You can perceive it. You can interpret it. You can be with it, okay? And it shows up in many ways. As I was getting ready for the show this morning, I was doing other work as one does, and several things happened or occurred. And I'm like, oh, that's a great example. Oh, that's a great example. Okay. For one thing, I was sitting here working, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I should ping my friend on Skype. She was kind of having a rough day yesterday. I should stop right now and just send her a message and say, hey, how's the day going? So I did, I'm like, oh, blah, 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 so-and-so, how's the day going? And what was interesting is that she came right back with this. She said, good, and I need your help. Did you get my SOS? I'm like, only if it was energetic, because I don't have any emails or anything else from you. And she's like, yes, I was just going to Skype you. I'm like, okay, cool. So being energy's bitch is acknowledging that energy of like, oh, bing, this person popped into my universe, and I need to go say hi to her and talk to her and, blah, 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 blah. And so, that was a very obvious one. She's like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you and I needed blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I was able to help her with that, which was pretty cool. Then I'm like, okay, well, this is, we fixed what was going on in the universe and we wandered off. So, that's just one example of what that is all like. Okay. And there are some other fun ones, like maybe you find this guy attractive and you're sitting there talking to them and all of a sudden pops out of your mouth of like, oh my gosh, you smell good, or oh my gosh, you're so nice, or oh, you have the prettiest eyes, or just, those things where you're like, oh, can I take my words back? Oh, nope, they heard them, but it changes their universe, okay? It's really interesting how this occurs. I have a great example of JG People's universe with a quote-unquote accidental conversation, all about following the energy on that, okay? But we're going to take a quick little break. Yes, I'm teasing you. And when we come back, I'll share that story, and we'll really get into what is possible with this and what's the underlying point of view that keeps us from being this and doing this as well, okay? This is Donnielle, and you're listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. If you would like more, please do visit my website, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. There's lots of information on there. There are audios, past radio shows, classes, full intro classes like the ones we're talking about today, and information about upcoming workshops. You know, I have my next workshop is in Edmonton in May, and I'm very, 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 very excited about that. For the first time in Access Consciousness history, we will be doing 1-2 punch. You know, we will be, I'll be facilitating the Right Body for You 2.5-day workshop. And then the next weekend, I'll be facilitating the Access Consciousness 3-day body class. And the first that's been done in this history of Access is having these two classes together like this, facilitated by the same facilitator. Well, and actually truly having these two classes together like this as well. You know, because when I do these Right Body for You workshops, I hear all the time, oh, I wish I had done this class before this 3-day body class, because now I know I can receive more. So I'm like, okay, great, let's play with that. Let's see, you know, for me, I'm all about playing with the tools. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let's put these two classes together and see what shows up. And every time we look at the energy, it's quite palpable of what we're perceiving is possible with this. You know, Leah, who works with me, and I'm so grateful for her continued existence in the world and in my life. We were having a meeting about it yesterday, and we were chatting, and she's like, you know, these two classes here in May, it's like, anything you ever wanted to change about your life or your body, here we go. Here's the set of tools, here's the procedure, the process, and the energy, and here we go. So if you want to learn more about that, please do check out Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE, as well as check out the free videos and audios, as well as the store, if you would like. There's some great products on there as well, including the 14-week Right Body for You book club, the companion piece to the Right Body for You book, which is pretty dang cool. So, all right. So today we're talking about being energy's bitch. What does that even look like, act like, be like, and what's required? Is there a contract signed? Do you have to renew? What is it really? And really it's just about following the energy, being willing to be present with it, say what needs to be said and when. I know a lot of people, you know, when we use phrases like this, they think choice goes out of the window, but it's actually quite the opposite. You do have choice in everything, including if you follow these little promptings, you know, and whatnot. I could have very well gone, you know what, I am so freaking busy right now, I can't reach out to my friend. You know, I'm sorry, it's not that I'm selfish, it's just I'm busy, I have the stuff to do, so I'm not going to, you know, follow the pinger this morning. So you do always have choice in everything. So this isn't about taking any choice away. At the core of it, really, truly, it's just about acknowledging you and trusting yourself. Okay? One thing I know I've dealt with, and I've worked with a lot of people with, is that ability to trust oneself. Okay, it shows up differently everywhere. And honestly, that was one of the first things that I really, really liked about Access Consciousness and the Right Body for You tools was it was about trusting yourself, not about trusting somebody else, not about, yes, like I do private sessions and work with people, but it's not about being beholden to me or Gary Douglas or anybody else forever. It's really just about what do you know about everything and trusting and honoring that. And so this whole thing about, following the energy and being present with it and helping people, or helping yourself, at the core of it is really about trusting yourself. And, where do we come off as being some of the most untrustworthy things in the universe? I do find this interesting. We will trust other people. We will ask for their opinion before making a decision. And there's getting information, don't get me wrong. I'm a big person for that. It's like I collect data. What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Blah, blah, blah. Collect data. But at the end of the day, I also know these choices are mine. This is something that is required of me. And I've not always been that way. I spent a lot of my life going, well, what do you think? Okay, well, I'm gonna do what they say then, or what they do, or yeah, that's a good idea. Let me follow this. It's, and I wish I could say I was the only one. The world would be great if I was the only one not walking around going, well, what do you know, and then doing that. I see it a lot with doctors as well. When I work with people about trusting what they know about their body. It's interesting to get people to that place where they're even willing to receive the information or trust in that information. And so, of course, as I do, I looked at the word trust because I like to go to the origin of words. And remember, the original language is energy. What your body speaks is what you speak, is what the universe speaks. And so when you have this original language of energy, when we put words to energy to describe it, why we, suddenly got the wild and crazy idea to have words put to energy, whatever that was. And so we started looking at something and went, ooh, red, bright, shiny, apple. Yeah. Apple matches that energy. Okay, cool. Next, ooh, hot. That red flamey thing, which, I'm really curious. I would love to actually be witness to this origin of the language, because it's like, how do you create a word for something without using other words? I find it interesting. I know start with language, ooh, hot or whatever, but I'm just curious where it goes. There's my rambling for the day. Okay. So, fire is fire, apple is apple, tree is tree, family, all that kind of stuff. There's a certain energy that was behind all of it when words were first created. Okay. And what's interesting is I know this is where some of the places that we get to mistrusting ourselves is because we say these certain words, but they bring up an energy that doesn't actually match what we're asking for, because the words could say one thing, but the energy actually behind them is different, okay? Because the word matches the energy when we originally created it. So somewhere in 1945, definitions were changed. Why? I don't know. Conspiracy theorists out there, or somebody had a bad day and wanted to play a trick on the universe. I don't know. But the definitions of words were changed. And then from that, people go, oh, well, this word now means this. Actually, it doesn't, because the energy behind the word doesn't change, okay? So you always want to go to the origins of words, okay? One of my favorite examples of this is the word want. People will go, oh, I want to lose weight. I want more money. I want a different life. I want a different relationship. I want to be better. I wanna, right? Well, if you actually look at the original definition of want, in this reality and nowadays, want means like I want, to have, right? You use I want more money, meaning I will have more money, or, that it's more of that kind of thing. But if you really look at the original definition of it, it means to lack. Even go in court cases, you were tried and found wanting is a phrase, meaning that you were found lacking. And so when you really look at the phrase like, I want more money, you are actually saying, I lack of more money. Okay? I mean, even as you're saying that, it's like, I want more money. You're acknowledging that you have the lack of it. Okay? But what's interesting is in this reality, at this day and time, after we think the words have changed behind the energy, we go into, I want more money. We do that as a creation that we think we're going to get more money from it. But what we're actually doing every time we say, I want more money, is we're reinforcing the I lack of money, I lack of money, I lack of money, I lack of money, because the original definition and the energy behind the word want doesn't change. Okay? So, it's one of my favorite examples. So you want to look at the original definitions of things. Okay? So I went to the original definition of trust, because it's like, why do we not trust ourselves? And this, misuse of the words is one of those places. Because it's like, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. See, I'm doing all this, and I'm telling the universe I want more money. And what is it giving me? It's giving me no money. Well, yes, because energetically you're actually telling the universe you lack for having money. And your universe goes, okay, lack for having money, we can do that. We're already doing that. You're really good at it. Continue on, carry on, have a good day. Okay? And so, and I know this is where some of that untrust of yourself, because it's like, I do all this and nothing changes, or I do all this and, that kind of thing. So it's like, so you really want to look at the original definitions. So it's interesting because when I looked up the original definition for the word trust, because we're looking at like, why don't we trust ourselves? The original definition is help, confidence, which I found very interesting. Help or confidence, comfort, consolation, agreement, alliance. Okay? So for me, this all starts becoming very interesting. It's like to help, confidence, comfort, consolation. So when we look at that energy, what is this trusting ourselves is really just about, are we willing to step out? Are we willing to create? Are we willing to actually acknowledge the things we desire? What is possible? Some of the energy comes up from last week's show, live show, of, what was it called? The Life Factor Fiction. And we were really getting into talking about those times where we don't go for it, or why we can prefer fantasy over looking at things. And, what if the fantasy of it was okay? What if it's contributing something we weren't expecting? And where's the line? So it kind of has some of this energy too. It's like, are you willing to step out? Are you willing to acknowledge, this trust? Are you actually willing to create something that's never been seen before, even if it's just never been seen before by you, your life, and what's possible with that? Okay? We're going to take our next quick little break. When we come back, I never told you the fun story about a fun example of being energy's bitch in all this. So we are going to take our next quick little break. When we come back, I will share that story because it makes me laugh every time I think about it. All right, this is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We are on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something Different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you for joining me today, in the past or in the future. And speaking of the future, I would really love to invite you guys to a class I am so excited about. It's a brand new class in Access and in Right Body for You. It is called Right Body for You, the Tools in Action. And I am stoked for this class. It was inspired by a lot of private sessions and the 2.5-day workshop and things like that. And, my own desire to really help people find that freedom, find them inside, and just really help people create the life that they truly desire. Okay, so what this class is, it's a moving, roaming, out of the box, out of the classroom class. The slogan for it is, this isn't the classroom, this is life. Because what we're doing is we're bringing the Right Body for You workbook, because when you take the Right Body for You 2.5-day workshop, you get this freaking fantastic manual in it, and with lots of tools and information that you can immediately start using. And one thing I hear is people go, okay, great, and I'm a little unsure about this, because I get it. There's a lot of tools in the Right Body for You manual, a lot of tools. And so some people are like, well, how do I use this one? Well, how do I use this one? And how do I use this one? And, well, what about this? We talked about this in class, but it came up differently. Now, the second time, it came up like this, and what do you suggest? And, and I'm always happy to help out and answer people's questions. And I'm like, okay, so how else can we do this? What else is truly possible with this? And so this Right Body for You, the Tools in Action class was born, because what we're doing is we are going to New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are kind of taking over the French Quarter. I've been to New Orleans a lot. I enjoy it. It's an interesting city full of magic and history and just unique experiences. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the manual to life. I have designed various activities throughout the 5-day period and to really start implementing these tools so that you can get some very in-depth exposure and use of them. And the fun part for me, and I hope for you guys, is I'll be there, okay? It's activities. I'll be there. We'll play with them so you guys can ask questions. And, it's like, oh, well, when we're doing like bodies and food, well, I'll be sitting there with the meal with you, or, answering questions, or if it's bodies and clothes or history, I'll be there with you. And it's like, what else can we explore? How much depth can we get into these tools? So I am really, 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 really excited about this class, you guys. There's only 30 people allowed because I wanted to be able to be there for each of you. And 30 was the number that I got when I asked the energy. Hello, energy. When I asked the energy what number it was possible with, it was 30. So for this year, it's 30 people, only 30 spots. And so sign up because we're filling up. I'm about 2 people away from a waiting list, and it's in September. One of the only prereq really is to have done a Right Body for You workshop, because we're not introducing the tools, we're using the tools in this one. So I'm very excited. And we have a fix into spot or a fix into location. And what we're doing with this is, we'll meet every morning for like an hour or something, and then we'll go out. But I rented a 3-story in the French Quarter mansion. And so, of course, what we're going to do the last day of the class is we're going to do a masquerade ball. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how this turns out. I hope you can join us. So it's called Right Body for You, Tools in Action. Check it out, Donnielle.com. Let us know if you have any questions. I can't wait for this class. We're going to have so much fun. All right. Speaking about energy's bitch, right? Because it's like, what else is possible? What else can I do for people? And how can we create this? And boom, here we go. New class. All right. So I have to tell you guys this really funny story about being energy's bitch. Because I also call it having access Tourette's. And it makes me laugh. Because I was at this party. I had been in access for about, somewhere between a year and a half and 2 years at that point. So it was several years ago. And so, I was trying to behave myself at this party, just, having a good time, talking with this various people, getting to know them. And so I started talking to this woman, and my universe was just kind of spinning because I've been told, oh my gosh, this person's so amazing, you have to talk to her, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, I went in with all these preconceived ideas of like what this person had to be like. And so as we're sitting there talking and laughing and joking and I'm just kind of watching her and talking and listening. And then I just went, wow. I'm like, you're kind of a bitch, aren't you? And it was one of those moments where time stands still. I'm like, did I say that out loud? How can I turn this around? Is it actually possible to gulp back your words? If it's possible to turn back time and change history, now would be a good time to do that. Because this was somebody who, had done a lot of access, had done a lot of people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just called this woman a bitch. And I can't figure out a different way to spin it. I'm like, just kidding. Just kidding don't actually work, especially in times like that. And I'm like, I am a dead woman. Can I get kicked out of access for calling somebody a bitch? And I was like, so, of course this is all in like split seconds, but I was freaking out. And I'm like, huh. And in the midst of my freak out, she looks at me, she laughs. It's as giddy as a little schoolgirl and goes, I know, right? And her whole universe lightened up. And she just walked away. And I'm like, okay. So she likes being a bitch, and she likes that I acknowledged it. Because I didn't do it with the, oh my gosh, you're such a bitch. You're just so, there's something wrong with you or you have to stop. I was just like acknowledging the energy of like, wow, you're really a bitch. And I know. I still remember that. I know. I'm like, holy crap. And so that's when I started looking. I'm like, okay, so the energy was what she required at the time was to be acknowledged for that. And so that comes up part of the trusting, because I was like, I am a dead woman. And which in turn actually turned me into one of her favorite people. We're still friends, which I find so funny, that, we're still friends. And this isn't a moment that she remembers. We don't have this conversation of like, oh, remember that time you called me a bitch? No, all it is she remembers that I am a person who sees her for who she is and enjoys it and doesn't judge it, and is just, someone she can be actually her with. Okay. So what's fun about this is you also invite people to be them. I'm not saying you have to wander around and calling everybody a bitch. Let me hello, disclaimer. It's not what I'm saying. That's what she was requiring in that moment. Okay. It's like, I had this happen to me one time when I was working in, what do you call it? Cafeteria. There's the word. I was working in a cafeteria when I was in college, and I was cleaning tables, and it was a really busy week because at the university I was at, every once in a while we would have these big education week type things, and various people would be in. And so I was actually a manager of it, but I was helping clean tables and everything so I could, get the party still going. And this really sweet woman just walks up to me, and she's like, I just have to tell you, you have just the sweetest smile that really brights up everything. She was like, I've been watching you clean the tables. She goes, and I just have to say thank you so much for just smiling. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And, and in that moment, her being energy's bitch, it was that moment of, I'm going to go tell this random person for no other reason but thank you for smiling. And so I did that. She did that to me, right? And what was really cool about that was, yes, I was smiling, and on the inside, it was one of those moments of like, where do I go? Where do I be? Who the freak am I? What am I doing? And just all of this information like was rattling around in my head. And, and now with the tools who it belonged to, I realized how much of it wasn't mine. But in that 10 seconds, the thing I needed most was somebody to acknowledge me, to come up to me and say, hey, you know what? Thanks for being in the world. You're pretty cool. And she did that because she was willing to trust herself that she could actually make a change in the world. Not even that it has to be about changing the world, just trust that she was able to actually, that it was required, that it was doable, that it was a gift to me, a gift to everything, and I think back upon that moment, and I'm just like, I am so grateful for that woman to come up, and she wasn't doing it, and I know some people can totally do that in a different way, and they come up and they're just like, let me prove to you how cool I am by telling you how cool you are, because that, that just shows them how cool I am. And that wasn't it. I mean, she was literally just like, hey, have to say, I enjoy your smile. And I'm like, wow, thanks. And it's changed my universe. I mean, think about it. I'm still looking at this and receiving. Look at this. I'm also still receiving from that moment. I don't even know how many years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. I am still receiving from that moment. So when you trust in yourself, willing to follow the energy, be that energy's bitch, say what needs to be said, do what needs to do, it's not just moments of time you change the world. You change the world in moments of time forever. Okay? Let me stress again, I am still receiving from that moment. Okay? Would you be willing to receive and gift forever from those moments? Okay? All right. We're going to take our last quick little break. This is Donnielle. You are listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane here, and I would like to invite you to an adventure in being. I've just written and finished a new book known as Being You, Changing the World. Are you one of those dreamers? One of those people who's always known that other possibilities should be available but haven't yet been able to see them be created? Well, I wrote this book for you. In it, you'll find tools, processes, and unique perspectives to change the things you've always wanted to change but didn't know how. In it, you'll find an invitation to a different possibility for a way that we can be in this world that changes not only our lives, but by being us, allows us to contribute to changing everything planet-wide that doesn't work. Are you aware that truly great people, truly being them, is the only thing that has ever created a great change on this planet? Are you willing to step up? Are you willing to be one? Check out a copy of my new book, Being You, Changing the World. I invite you to go to beingyoubook.com for a free gift.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. Thank you for joining me today in the past, in the present, or in the future. I'm so grateful you took the time to spend some time with me, being the voice inside your head. And, you know, for me, it is such a gift and an honoring when you guys choose to listen to the show and share in this journey with me. So thank you. Thank you for that. So today we're talking about energy's bitch, and really about just following the energy and seeing what that looks like, how it shows up, because it shows up so differently all the time. And, you know, and one thing I want to talk about really quickly was about following the energy with your body. Because, you know, when I started looking at this, I'm like, okay, so why do we not sometimes follow that energy or be energy's bitch or whatever it is? And really, I got to that it's so much about us not trusting us. And what's interesting is I work with so many people all over the world about changing their bodies, building that communication with their body. And what's interesting is it always comes back to, well, not always, but like 90% of the time it comes back to they don't trust what their body's saying, which is interesting because it's really about them not trusting themselves or what their body is saying to them. So if you would be willing to acknowledge the potency, the potency in following the energy, in being energy's bitch, how could you change your body, and could you change it with ease? Because if you are willing to do something, even if it doesn't make sense, you know, I've had those times where, and so many people, I hear stories all the time, it's freaking fantastic. People, you know, it doesn't make sense. Like, you know, one time when I was asking my body, where would you like to eat? And it was like, oh, go this direction. And I was like, me and the girl I was with, we were like, the only thing over there is the pizza place. Do you want pizza? I'm like, no. I'm like, body, do you want pizza? It's like, no. And we're like, but the body's like, go that way. And we're like, all right, follow the energy, be energy's bitch. The energy in the body says go this way, even though the body's saying it doesn't want pizza and that's the only way over. Okay, fine, here we go. What else is possible? And so what's cool is we were willing to trust that, to honor that, to follow that, to keep going. And what was so amazing is, yes, the pizza place was the only food over there, But what was really cool was my body, and this woman's body strongly wanted a foot massage. Like, because we were running camera, we had been on our feet for 3 days at this point. It's like, foot massage sounds so nice. And so even though it didn't make sense, but willing to follow the energy, we followed the energy to a foot massage place. And we walked in, we only have an hour for lunch. What's the possibility you guys have 2 appointments available right now? And you know what? They did. So we got a foot massage for lunch, and it felt so nice, and it was exactly what we wanted and what our bodies wanted. And see, and that's the thing about following the energy and being energy's bitch, is it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you see the end result, sometimes you don't. But it's really about learning to trust yourself, willing to be that person who turns right when you're supposed to turn left, being willing to ask the questions, be present with the energies. And then from that, anything in your life can actually change. Anything in your body can actually change. Healing, finances, relationship, you name it, it can actually change. So would you be willing to be energy's bitch? Because I tell you what, the more I'm willing to trust this, honor this, and move with it and change with it, the funner my life has been. The more aware I am, the more things change fast and dynamic and rapidly and quickly and in ways I never even knew were possible. So would you be willing? Would you be willing, maybe just for a day, see how it goes? Trust in yourself that you know the energy. You speak the energy, you receive it, and you can interpret actually everything that's going on, okay? Because trust me, it never makes sense. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but just be with it. See what else is possible, okay? And please don't forget to check out my website, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. You can find out, you can find some audio clips. You can find full length for free intros, video intros that you can watch right there on the site. It's really easy. You push play. It's about bodies, about various things. You can find also products. You can find, and if you want, if now is the time to do a private session with me, this is a great way to get a hold of me. You know, I do them over Skype. I do them over the phone, whatever works. And you also get a recording of it as well, because the clearings go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper each time. So my website is a great way to figure that out. So please do check it out. Enjoy it. Oh, and please like my Facebook page on, Facebook, called Donnielle Carter Motivator. I would love, we're putting on fresh content continually. I would love to be able to share that with you guys. And one of that way for you to share it with me, for me to share it with you, is to like my page so you get the updates when stuff is coming in. So please do that as well. So Donnielle.com, and check out this coming up, this New Orleans class. I'm so excited. If you want to come play with us in Edmonton, it is in May. We're also doing a facelift class in the middle of that. So there's lots of fun things you can do and play with us in Canada in May. We're doing the 2.5-day workshop, woohoo, of Right Body for You. We're doing the 3-day Access Body class. We are doing the Access Facelift. Tell you what, almost anything you want to change about your life and your body, we got the tools for you there. So please do check it out. And you guys make it a fun week. Make it a happy week. Enjoy your body, because it's enjoying you. And I hope to see you back here next week, because guess what? I'll be here, and I hope to see you then. So until then, everyone, have fun. Make it a good one.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you and your body will join us. Until then, have fun.